How's it going, guys? It's me, Jimmy Champane, and I just got out of my screening for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I'm just so happy because it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Fallen Kingdom is directed by J.A. Bayona. Colin Trevorrow is going to direct a third Jurassic World movie, but this time he's just co-writing. It's bringing back Nick and Claire, and basically they're going to Isla Nublar to save a bunch of dinosaurs, basically as many as they can, because the volcano on the island has become active again and is erupting, and if they don't rescue the dinosaurs, they're all going to die. I really liked the first Jurassic World, even though it had some script and characterization problems. I think they did a really good job at bringing this series back and delivering a movie that's better than pretty much anything else in the series except for the first movie. Now, when I heard that this movie was primarily going to be taking place off of the island, I got kind of nervous because I was getting serious Lost World flashbacks. I didn't want this to just be another rehash of Lost World like Jurassic World was just kind of a rehash more or less than Jurassic Park. And I'm glad to say I was wrong mostly. So I remember when Jurassic World was about to release, they said it was going to get rid of everything after Jurassic Park and just kind of ignore it. I didn't really realize the extent of that though until this movie, because Isla Sorna just never happened. There's no dinosaurs there. The dinosaurs on Isla Nublar are the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park's universe. That's it. I really like the Lost World Jurassic Park. I think it's really underrated. I think it has one of the best soundtracks of any movie ever, and I was initially pretty disappointed that they retconned that entire thing, but honestly, there's so many references in Fallen Kingdom to the Lost World that I really couldn't be upset about it after about 15 minutes into the movie, honestly. You may have heard this already, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is almost two movies stitched together. The first half is all action. It's Owen, Claire, Zia, and Franklin going to the island to rescue as many dinosaurs as they can while a volcano erupts. And then the second half is when they get to Lockwood Estate, and then it becomes a monster movie where the Indoraptor is stalking them throughout the entire house. And they're both very tonally different, but they're both great. Even though I like the first half more than the second, it's just by a little bit, and I think Bayona deserves serious props for essentially making two mini movies and then stitching them together even though they're tonally so different, and it doesn't feel jarring at all. He did such a great job directing this movie, and that was really cool. Moving on to the characters, I was honestly surprised by how much I liked Zia, who's played by Daniela Pineda, and Franklin, who's played by Justice Smith. I didn't really think I was gonna like them going in based on what I saw in the trailers, but both of those actors did an awesome job. Also, Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt basically saved Owen and Claire. I really did not like them in the first Jurassic World. I thought they were very shallow, just kind of one-note characters, but this time around, things change, and I really liked the changes that did come to those characters. I wish that Claire and Owen didn't break up between the movies just so they could get back together in this one, because that's just so cliched and played out. I hate that so much, but I kind of got past it pretty quickly because you could tell that Bayona and Trevorrow really let Chris Pratt kind of bring himself into the character more. He plays it much looser. The dialogue is much better written this time around. The jokes are actually funny. And as for Claire, she's much less of a stick in the mud. She's kind of even a badass at points, and Bryce Dallas Howard really did a great job at turning the character around. You can totally tell that Owen cares for Blue. You can see that he genuinely loves this little dinosaur that he raised. And you can tell that Claire not only cares about the dinosaurs at this point in time because she had a helping hand in creating them, but also because she genuinely sees them as animals. It was nice to see that character development that I really was not expecting at all after the pretty bad writing in the first movie. BD Wong's role in this movie is just as insignificant as it was in Jurassic World. It's basically a glorified cameo, which is infuriating. If you've ever seen Mr. Robot, you know that guy can act. But I really have to give props to Isabella Sermon. As soon as I saw her in the trailer, I was like, crap, there's a little kid actress. This isn't gonna be good, but she did a really good job. She totally sold her part, and I honestly would have liked to see a little bit more of her in the movie. I didn't think I'd be talking about the human characters this much, so let's move on to the real stars of the show, the dinosaurs. They said before this movie came out that there'd be more dinosaurs in this movie on screen than any other Jurassic Park movie ever, and they were not lying at all. I was kind of cynical at first. I thought it meant just because the volcano was blowing up that we get to see a really wide shot of like 100 dinosaurs or something, but even after that, you get to see so many different kinds of dinosaurs, and they all look really cool. And if you're the kind of person who looks at them as animals, not monsters, you're really gonna like this movie. I don't think you'll have anything to complain about there. This movie had my heart in my throat the entire time. I had tears in my eyes for most of it, which is kind of embarrassing, but I don't care. There's a shot when they're leaving the island that I hate J.A. Bayona and Colin Trevorrow for coming up with because it totally made me full on cry. These things feel like animals. They feel real, and that's mostly because there are a ton of practical effects in this movie. And say what you will about CGI getting better and better and you can't tell a difference or whatever like some people say, when you give actors tangible things to act around, they act better. They act more believable and the dinosaurs look more believable and it makes a more emotional movie. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to cry at movies, you probably like CGI. But if you're the kind of person who really likes to feel like you're seeing real animals and real things on screen, you're gonna love this movie because it's gonna f you up big time. It's really sad. My biggest issue with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is a technical one, and it has to do with line pickups and ADR. If you don't know what that is, it's usually when you need to add in more lines to a scene to flesh it out more, and the person who's talking, you usually see the back of their head like you're seeing now. I noticed a few times, especially with Zia, that the lips just do not line up. There are more than a few moments in this movie where that happened, and it's totally unacceptable for a movie of this caliber and size and expense. Like, you'd think that wouldn't happen in a movie this big. Also, there is a part where they added in a line for Owen later on in the movie at Lockwood Estate, and it didn't even sound like Chris Pratt, which really kind of bummed me out because, again, that's just unacceptable for a movie of this scale. While I really liked Franklin and Zia, I was disappointed to find that they're basically absent from the second half of the movie. It was disappointing not only because they play well off of each other and they're just genuinely good characters, but they play well off of Owen and Claire, and they gave their characters more dynamic things to do. I was just bummed out that they kind of just go away in the second half of the movie once the characters get to Lockwood Estate. The last 10 minutes of Fallen Kingdom feel pretty rushed because the movie is bookended by monologues from Ian Malcolm. He's just basically a cameo role in this movie, but it just felt rushed after the rest of the movie was so perfectly paced. It was kind of jarring and a little disappointing that things wrapped up that quick. The last thing I didn't like is a total nitpick, but basically Toby Jones's character is such an obvious Donald Trump lookalike that as soon as you see him on screen, you know what's going to happen to him. It was just impossible for me not to roll my eyes at that, and I know that's a tiny thing, but he shows up way more than he should, so I felt like I had to point it out. So if you couldn't tell, I absolutely loved Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It's just such a great summer action movie, and it's a great entry in the Jurassic Park franchise. I love that it treated the dinosaurs with respect in the same way that the first movie did and the first Jurassic World did. I really think that's important, and I love that this movie is going to inspire little kids to get into paleontology and dinosaurs like Jurassic Park inspired me when I was 5 years old. I also appreciate that this movie doesn't shit all over the fans that made it what it is today in any way, who have stuck through it through thick and thin. I really appreciated that. It's rewarding me for being a lifelong fan of this franchise, and I just love that. I think that's awesome. If you want to see more Jurassic Park videos from me, if you want to see more of my Jurassic Park videos, stick around till the end of the video because I've linked my Jurassic Park 25th anniversary vlog where I went to Universal Studios with Matt Brando, and I also linked this video I made about Jurassic World Evolution where I tell you everything you need to know about that game. But anyways guys, my name is Jimmy Champane and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.